It's cold outside, gang. But we still here creating because we are creators. And I am excited to express the season, the lessons, the experiences, the remembrances that I have been moving through. And we're gonna do that while driving back to the crib. Because it is currently, it says 4:19 on the dash, but it is not 4:19. I haven't had that aligned in a while, but it is currently 1:07 p.m. And I am waking up at 5 a.m. because I have made a commitment I made a bond with my word to somebody that I will be at the gym at 5 a.m. And I need to honor that. Word is bond, and being impeccable with your word is actually something that Don Miguel Ruiz talks about in the Four Agreements, and it's a really powerful way of operating and navigating this world and this reality, because words create reality, right? And being impeccable with your word is you being in alignment within the reality that you're creating, and so you're allowing your experience to be consciously created through the words that you say. It allows for more trust, it allows for more confidence, it allows for more conviction and certainty in your life. Because when you say, I am going to do something, or I feel something, or I know something, and you know that you are saying it from a place of certainty, naturally that level of conviction, truth, spirit, and heart will be reflected back to you in so many forms of abundance. And so I will be waking up at 5 a.m. for that reason. I will be setting an alarm. And today I did not do that because we go through cycles of living in that alignment and living in disalignment, all to learn. And it's beautiful to be able to love and accept every aspect of the cycle that you're in. And that's something that is being constantly being reflected back to me in so many ways. And I'm so blessed, I'm so grateful. 555 on the car right there. I'm so blessed, I'm so grateful that the people around me are true reflections of me, and that we as a soul tribe are moving through a transition of remembrance, a transition of community, a transition of building together, a transition of loving together, of being real together, of nourishing each other and pouring into each other and assisting and supporting each other. And I'm so grateful for that, because it really allows for revelation and integration and remembrance of our true nature, which is we are all one. We are all simply consciousness experiencing itself through different manifestations and different vessels and bodies and ideas and thoughts and emotions. It's just one spirit that moves through us all. And I'm so grateful to be in spaces and to be co-creating spaces with beautiful reflections that allow for love to more easily be surrendered and channeled to. And it's so beautiful because we've been gathering so intentionally in space and in time. And that gathering is ceremonial. That gathering is sacred because we gather there in love, and true understanding and true purpose above. In true service, right? In service to each other, in service to a higher mission that Soul Print and Soul Tribe aligns to. And services in the form of creating food and nourishing each other's bodies. Healthy, real food, organic food that comes from the earth, that heals the body. Conversations that allow for expansion in the mind, inspiration in the heart, and reflection in the soul, and connection in the spiritual dimension. And what I've been noticing as I remember that we are all one is that we are beginning to operate as one organism. This family that we created is beginning to operate as one organism. And that's exactly what the Bible talks about the church. The church is the body of Christ. And Christ is the head of the church. And truly, this family is the body of Christ. And Christos, is a light. It is a frequency. And so our beingness of in this frequency allows that frequency to pour through us in different manifestations of the body. The same way the body has different organs and different cells that do different jobs. The body in this community that we are building, we are falling into alignment within the roles and the jobs that we are here to provide and serve in. And it's so beautiful. It's so powerful. These gatherings have truly been technologies of expansion, technologies of acceleration of our true nature. And it makes so much sense because we can understand the time we're living in right now. It's really the end of the year of the snake. We are really shedding layers. We are really detaching from this old identity and stepping into a new identity. Collectively and individually. And it's such a blessing to do this. And it's such a blessing to do this in community. And I'm so grateful to be a part of a community that is forging a new path for humanity. So grateful. Honored to be able to tap into my emotions, to be able to feel safe, and to feel brave enough and courageous enough to tap into my emotions in community. And the reason I say that is because we were all sitting in circle on the floor around the fire of 360-degree camera and love. We were sharing our hearts with each other, one person speaking at a time. Alright, as I was saying before this camera, the SD card actually lost storage, but I deleted some stuff. I was getting emotional and channeling the heart of everybody in that room and really feeling that. And in the spiritual dimension, that was allowing for more connection and more unison and more unity within our collective and within me. It's so powerful because everybody that I have been in deep conversation with, a part of the tribe, is really feeling that connection to each other. Not just on a personality level, but the way in which we all met has been so aligned and so divine and orchestrated by a higher force. And it's that connection that is so powerfully aligned and purposeful and natural and harmonic that we are all remembering. And I'm so grateful, truly, to be a part of that. And today was a day where me and my soul brothers were able to tap into creation and inner child and play without any outside thoughts. No fear, no doubt, no hesitation. Pure play, exploration, and experimentation. Which is actually an aspect of a puffer jacket that I made recently. And I'll put the images of that puffer jacket on the screen. And I'm blessed because I was able to be a part of a fashion show in New York and display the puffer jacket that I worked on. The puffer jacket that I poured so much intention into. For everybody to be able to bear witness to the love and to the art and to the creation that I poured my heart into. And to be able to share that online so that those that weren't there are able to experience an aspect of that. It's such a blessing. So definitely, I will be putting some images up there so I can continue to spread the message, spread the mission. And this is another conversation I was having with myself and with my family recently. With my brand, right? Because I have a clothing brand. There are many routes that I can go. And right now I'm in the direction of making one-of-one pieces. Making clothing pieces that are one-of-one. Because as souls, we are all unique. We are all one-of-one individuals. And I would love, and I do love, to represent that uniqueness and that sacredness of who we are to be represented in our clothing. And my clothing has so much intention and love in that way. Yet, as I continue to grow, the question becomes, how do I think and what do I think of mass production? Continuing to grow my business, my love, my art, my passion, my work, my play. How do I want to move forward with the expansion of it? And so that's something that I'm navigating now and really remembering what feels true. Do I go down the route of creating a manufacturing line of a bunch of copies, or do I even do a limited supply of that? Do I continue to do one-of-one pieces? And how would that look as I continue to grow? All things that I've been sitting with and allowing the answers to come naturally. And today's the full moon in Leo. And I've been given so many answers, so many ideas, so many remembrances. And I'm, again, grateful. And when I say grateful, it's full of greatness. Because when you are grateful, you are full of greatness. And you attract greatness. Because you are greatness and you get and you receive what you are. You receive what you put out. What you give at, you get. What you give out, you get back. Respectfully. And it's a beautiful law of attraction that we live with. That exists in consciousness, in reality. But all that being said, I'm excited to sleep, And I'm also excited to work. And I'm so grateful to work because I work doing what I love. And that's where we're moving towards. That's what I'm striving towards. A time where everybody can work doing what they love. And to create that world, we have to remember who we are. How could you know and do what you love if you don't know who you are? And we're in a world that is so constantly distracted by different things on the news, on social media, the drama in our life, the pride, the jealousy, the lust, the lower vibrational emotions that distract us from our higher selves, our higher nature. The addictions we have to these lower vibrations allow for us to be distracted by the repetition in our consciousness, the generational cycles of victimization, of oppression, but truly victimization and disempowerment, because our true nature is God. Our truth is oneness. When we allow that love to fully be received and expressed, that is what it is. And we are what we are, and I am what I am. And being is the true nature. Being in acceptance and in love. To be that, we must know who we are, and we must not be distracted by our urges that pull us back, by the spirits that pull us back. What the Bible talks as demons is really just ourselves and the repetitive cycles of ourselves and our ancestors that leave us disempowered and leave us in cycles of lower vibrational experiences. Yet we have the free will and the power and influence to choose a different route. And so I'm grateful to be a beacon of remembrance, a beacon of light for those that are called to a higher path, to a higher nature, to a higher truth, to a higher octave of self, of beingness. Another really important thing to know is one is not better than the other. They simply exist. Darkness and light are no better than the other. They simply exist. Being spiritual, being high vibrational is not better than being material and being low vibrational. They're just different sides of the same coin. Heaven and hell are truly just different sides of the same coin. And so things are what they are. And it's our free will to choose and to apply meaning into our experience. Our meaning could be love, our meaning could be joy, our meaning could be play, our meaning could be creation. Or our meaning could be fear, repression, suppression, oppression, aggression, and separation. It's our choice. And we're at a turning point right now where many are remembering their power, remembering the true nature of reality, are connecting the dots of their experience to see a wider picture, a larger picture, to get a bird's eye view of their own life and the lives of the collective. We're in a time of remembrance, a time where the energetic channels of power and influence are shifting. We are shedding the old layers of ourselves when we alchemize and shed the different shadow of ourselves. And that is also happening at a global level, on the world stage. These different shadows that are being brought up to the surface with ICE, with P. Diddy, with the music industry, with Epstein. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what will really be shed in these next few years. Just the tip of the iceberg. So there will be a lot of shadow being brought to the surface, and that shadow will have a lot of reactive energy met. That shadow will be met with a lot of reactive energy, a lot of emotional responses. Oh my God, I can't believe they did this. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God, I'm a victim. Oh my God, I'm better. No. It just is. And what does that teach you? What does that show you about yourself that you forgot? That you needed to be reminded of? It's a new way of perceiving the world, is understanding that you are a student to life itself. You are a student of light energy. Light is everything. Energy is everything. And we are just truly just students of that light energy. So what a blessing to be moving through this. If y'all want to support the mission that I'm on, I have a clothing brand. I will be releasing heart-led creations in the upcoming cycles. So if you're curious about that, if you feel called to support that, definitely check out my Instagram at This Is Art Closet. I'll put the link in the bio. If you're interested in supporting the community that I talked about in this video, at Soul Print Tribe on Instagram and on YouTube. We actually released a film recently, so it's called Chosen. Feel free to check it out. Right now, these films are free. If you feel called to support me in other ways, I'm currently working towards a system on my website that you can purchase my visual art, my photo, editorial, surreal concept, creative work. So that will be on my website, and again, the upcoming cycles. So if y'all feel my heart, if y'all feel my intention, and y'all truly want to support what I stand for, definitely subscribe. Definitely continue to show up to what I'm providing and be open to receive without that ego bullshit. We don't do none of that over here. Much love and perfect timing, because I just came back to the current temple. This is art. This is art. Get over it. Yo, another thing I gotta share too, I'm passionate about this shit. Our social media, our feed on Instagram, on TikTok, is feeding our minds and feeding our spirit. And we have to be very intentional about what we eat. Yes, that goes for the food. Make sure you're putting healthy foods in your body. And also make sure you're putting healthy information in your mind and healthy connection in your soul. One thing that I experienced before actually making this video, I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw lustful content, and I can't accept that shit anymore. It is what it is. I just don't want that shit in my reality anymore. So I had to unfollow people that I was once connected to. And that's some grown man shit. That's some grown soul shit. And it's really a digital feng shui, which is a concept that I've talked about on my Instagram before. And what digital feng shui is the organization of the information that you consume online that creates specific energetic channels of energy to flow throughout your life that may result in positive outcomes in your reality. And feng shui is actually an ancient Chinese practice and philosophy of intentionally designing a space so that you create energetic channels of abundance and prosperity to flow freely. And that's in physical space. And we're living in a time right now where physical space is not the only space that holds value. Digital space holds just as much value in this reality as physical space. That's why you see things like digital land. There's something called Web3 where you can purchase digital land. Now I have to do more research on this, and I'm not going to talk from a place of understanding on something that I do not know in full certainty. But I do know that we're living in a time in a world that is becoming intertwined with the technology that we have created. And we are creating an entirely new world and way of perceiving worlds. That's why it's such an opportunity for us to begin to take space online. Because there's something so powerful about taking space in the physical reality. And you can understand the influence of taking up space when you walk into a room and you can feel a shift in environment. When I walk into a room, I bring light, and I bring love, and I bring acceptance, and I bring joy, and I bring peace. And that is reflected in that room. People feel that energy, that love, that safety, that ability to surrender into truth of who they are. Because I am solid. And I am here for you. And that's the power of taking up physical spaces. You allow more love into that room. And taking up digital space is just as important in this age. And that's why my mission is all about creativity. Because to take up space in the digital realm is to utilize the tools and technology around us creatively to build systems that we take space intentionally, in service, in devotion. So that's my TED Talk, y'all. I'm about to get inside. I'm about to edit this too. And then I'm going to make some clips, put it online. Keep moving. This is art. Ya tu sabe. Get over it.